Welcome to SUTV Live. We're here in our Bramall Lane studio as Sheffield United make the short trip to Rotherham to begin a month of 5 league fixtures and an FA Cup replay. The Blades were last in action on Sunday when John Egan saved the day with another stoppage time goal, this time at the racecourse to deny a Hollywood finish for Wrexham. Today the Blades travel to the New York Stadium aiming to avenge the narrow home defeat in November's reverse fixture and so to build on their excellent league form. In today's show we'll review the Hull and Wrexham games, provide you with all the team news, get Paul Heckingbottom's thoughts on Rotherham and hear from Ismaila Coulibaly in an SUTV Live exclusive. Plus we have a special guest joining us later in the show. Stay tuned to find out who. Kickoff is just an hour away, and for all the match pass information and broadcasting regulations for today's game, go to the website sufc.co.uk. Well, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us for the match, and hopefully Sheffield United's wonderful run of form going to continue. I'm joined today here in the studio by current Blades defender Jack O'Connell and also by Chris Morgan. Hi guys, good central defensive partnership if ever there was one. Coming into this, I mean, United are in a good place, aren't they, Chris?
Oh yeah, excellent position. Full of confidence, and I think they'll be at the stage now where they're just looking forward to every game. Like you mentioned, plenty of league games this month. Get the teeth into it and get some more points on the board.
Point to prove though, after everybody talks about the wonderful run, Jack, all the way back to October, just one defeat since then. That defeat, of course, was here at the Lane against Rotherham.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. You know what you're going to come up against Rotherham, and they beat us last time out, and hopefully we can put that right today.
They're struggling, but they've got some good. They've had some good results. I mean, most notably, they thumped Blackburn. Yeah,
they've hit a bit of form, and I seen a stat yesterday that they've scored the third most goals at home, so they're obviously a threat at home, and it's going to be a tough game for us today.
I'm sure the atmosphere and the thoughts in that dressing room are going to be very much, let's prove a point, let's see if we can get that aberration behind us, and let's show that we're the better side this afternoon.
Well, I think also it's a South Yorkshire derby, and like Jack said, they came here, they turned us over unexpectedly, so I think we'll be going down there this afternoon to set it right and give our supporters the bragging rights back.
Just before we take a look at the team news, what's it like having such an early kickoff? 12:30, and I mean, God, it must be a seriously early start for you guys getting ready for a major match which kicks off as early as that.
Do you know what? I used to prefer it. I don't know about you, Jack. Because I think when you kick off early, you're up. Your mind's straight on it. You're not thinking, what do I have for my breakfast? What do I have for my pre-match? You're literally up, breakfast, and on with the game. I used to prefer the early kickoffs.
You agree with that, Jack?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's individual. Some players like games, but for me personally, I like the early kickoffs. I think the lads have been in the training ground this morning having the pre-match, so they've prepared well. So yeah.
Some of us have a different view of it. Maybe it's sort of a journalistic thing. I don't function too well in the morning, but there we go. These guys obviously do, and hopefully Sheffield United functioning really well today. We've got the team which has been brought through to us, and this is how it is going to look. And a couple of changes there, guys, from the team who played Hull City in the last league match. Ollie McBurney coming in for the suspended Daniel Jebison, and Ben Osborne for Tommy Doyle. Thoughts about that one, Chris?
Yeah, I think there's that many games that, to be fair to Eki, he will change it round. Obviously Jebo's out suspended, so obviously that was an automatic change. But I think he'll keep shuffling the pack as we go. Again, there's another game midweek against Wrexham, so again I think he'll try and keep everybody fresh, and what they do is they sort of periodise, and they'll look at the month, and obviously it's a focus of win the next game that's in front of you, but they'll also plan for players for different games.
I guess Hecky's job significantly is managing the squad and trying to keep trying to keep people fit, trying to keep people ready for the big tests coming up and the final push towards the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I think some of the changes have been forced throughout the season. We've been unlucky with injuries, but I think we've said in previous shows that our squad's so strong that we can change, and you've seen it again today with Ollie Mack coming in for Jebbo.
Not a bad bloke to be coming in, is it?
No, he's been unbelievable. You know,
Cracking goal against Wrexham.
Yeah, great header. That's Ollie's game, and you know, hopefully he can do the same again.
Now, let's have a look at the lineup and how we expect them to figure. This is the formation which we're anticipating, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's the stock formation. That's us. That's what suits us. You know, intelligent players, good players. You know, people that understand that system. So yeah, I don't expect really much change on the formation at all.
Lowe and Bogle so important down the flanks there, and both of them they look brimful of confidence against Hull.
Yeah, they're both playing well, and they both suit that position. You know, if they were to play in a back four, there'd be fullbacks that want to tram on and get up the pitch anyway. So that back five suits them.
Well, the players are arriving at the ground, of course, and everybody getting ready, final preparations, and as ever, we had one of our little flash interviews before they settled in to the dressing room, and we had a word with George Baldock.
Not a very long trip. What's different about an early kickoff?
Yeah, no, not too much. I just think we have our main goal for the game, and I think we've prepared well enough to go and achieve that. So I think now we've got to put it to a test.
How's the mood in the camp this week?
Yeah, it's been good. Looking forward to the game, and I think everyone's up for it. We've prepared well, as I said, and I think we need to go out there and do what we need to do.
Is it a bit of a factor that local rivals Rotherham were the last ones to defeat the Blades?
Yeah, it's a big game, obviously, because they beat us at home, and you want that bit of revenge to get back. But again, it's a big game. We know how they're going to play, and it's going to be tough. But we need to do what we do well and hopefully get the 3 points.
Good luck, mate. All the best. Thank you.
Jaden Bogle, and seizing his opportunities well since he's been back in.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. He's obviously struggled with a serious knee injury, and I work close with him in the gym during his rehab, and he worked really hard, and you know, he's come back and hit the ground running. Obviously, George is obviously out with a niggle, so he's took his chance.
Talking about training in the gym, I know you'd be anticipating. I've got to be saying this. The fans are going to want to know, how's your fitness?
Yeah, it's good. You know, I'm back running, so you know, I'm taking it slow, like I've said so many times. But
back slow running.
Yeah, literally. I was never fast anyway, but yeah, I'm back running and it's progressing well.
Right, well, it's probably reached an appropriate time in the programme where we take a little bit of a look back now at our last two performances. United, first off, let's take a look at Friday the 20th of January, that Friday night fixture under the lights, and a win against Hull City.
We're underway then here at Bramall Lane. Here's Berger for United, looking for Jaden Bogle. Little slip there. Could be costly. Here's Suleiman Njai. Still going, gets a shot away. I think it was blocked by Jebison, in fact. Might come here for Berger. Well won by Ahmed Hodic. Continues his run. Slips it in for Njai. Chance here for United. Took a bit of a knot. Then Jebison! Daniel Jebison in the goals again for United. It's going to be a big night for the Blades youngster. And what a start to this game for the Blades and their young striker. Connolly here for Hull. And Fodringham is out to make the save. Could turn into a good pass, you know. Bogle, what a first touch. Jaden Bogle. Berger fires it across goal. Strong hand from Ingham. Going direct, looking for the run of Jebison. It hit Jones, comes back for Berger. Jebison, he's in again. Daniel Jebison. Ingham with the save. Berger in the area. Doyle making a break to get in there. Pushed away by Ingham. Could have gone anywhere. Doyle lines up an effort here. Doyle! Jebison just forced wide a little. And then Berger's header. Second half is underway. It's been left for Ollie Norwood. And it goes. Might come all the way to the back post. Not that Hodic has gone into the middle. And he's trying to get on the end of this one. Got a touch to it. Scramble away as far as Tommy Doyle. Well, we've got a player down here. Breaks for Jebison. Tight angle. Jebison. Certainly no Concept of holding the ball in the corner. He's crossed it again, looking for Billy Sharp. Comes through to Bogle first time. Really good hit. Norwood. In goes across, looking for McBurney. Cleared by Tufan, then Osborne to hit. And Darren Bond blows the final whistle. Sheffield United have beaten Hull City by 1-0.
Yep, so another 3 points in the bag. And Daniel Jefferson, the scorer of that solitary goal. Afterwards, he came up to our studio, our SUTV live studio, and said how delighted he was to have scored here at Bramall Lane.
I felt very good. What a feeling, you know, from my last goal. It's in the Prem, so it's been a while. I haven't scored at Bramall Lane yet, so it was good scoring there for the first time. I'll never forget it, yeah.
It's a good team move as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was very good. It was all set up there for me, so just had to be composed and just put the ball in the net, yeah.
Just be honest, if that chance comes to you a year ago, do you put it away still?
I'd have to think about that.
It's a bit of a naughty question, but
yeah.
the reason I ask it is because I've seen a definite change in you, and the guys here have watched the game tonight. I've seen a change in you since you had the loan spell at Burton, clearly working with the coaching staff, predominantly Jack Lester, I would assume, is having a big impression on you, yes? Yeah,
definitely. You know, the gaffer and Jack, I think everyone, all the whole staff and all the players helped me a lot in training. You know, they all believe in me and they keep pushing me every day. You know, so I'm glad to see myself developing.
Are you a different animal now to what you used to be? You look like it.
Yeah, you know, you know, it's a funny, you know, every player goes through their ups and downs. And I think I just caught my confidence, you know, because when a player has confidence, it's very dangerous. And I think I'm gaining that day by day, just believing in myself and just working hard.
Daniel Jefferson, and Chris, good to see a young lad who's clearly growing in confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've spoke about him ever since he joined the club. You know, as being one that he wanted to progress through to the first team. You know, when Jack was a Academy manager, you know, ex-striker, really believed in him. Had his spell out on loan at Burton.
Which won't have done him any harm at all, working with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
No, definitely. And I think that was, you know, like when young Willisula went out on loan as well. You know, Burton were interested in him as well. And I think for young strikers to go and work with people like that, it can only help them. But yeah, Jebo's done great. You know, obviously he's got to learn from the Wrexham game that, you know, old experienced centre halves are going to wind him up, and you know because he's young and he's eager.
I think anybody in particular.
He'll learn. Yeah, but that's what you would do. You know, because if you're an older centre half and your legs are going a little bit, and you've got this young centre forward that's a good runner, that's strong, that's mobile, you're going to get in his ribs and wind him up. So it's a learning process for him, and he is young, but he's a good talent.
I bet he was mortified to have got himself sent off, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's obviously he's at a bit of form, and so he would have liked to carry that on, but you know, he like Morg said, he'll probably learn from it now, and hopefully it won't happen again.
Well, time then to look at that game. United following that excellent win against Hull City with the match in the FA Cup last weekend at the Racecourse Ground against Wrexham.
Doyle will whip it near post, headed towards goal, headed in! Ollie McBurney! Dream start for Sheffield United here in North Wales. Wonderful header at the near post. Nothing the former Blades keeper Mark Howard can do. That will shut up all the talk here. What a fantastic start. We're in the second minute. It's Wrexham 0, Sheffield United 1. We are underway in the second half. Ball in from the left, headed down. It's going to be flicked towards goal, and it's going to be turned in as well. Sheffield United didn't deal with one of the long throws in from the left-hand side. It is Wrexham 1, Sheffield United 1. Here comes the corner from Wrexham. Whip central, Davis is there, and he's going to be smashed home though. 61 on the clock. Wrexham 2, Sheffield United 1. Sharp goes to the byline. He's going to try and get the cross in. It's deflected up in the air. It's missed. Iliman Njai tries to bring it down. Jefferson on the turn. Cleared away. It's going to come out to Norwood. Brilliant block. Norwood again. Norwood. And Ollie Norwood will score score for the Blades at the second attempt.
Tough finish.
Tucked it into the corner. They are back on terms. We have 25 minutes to go at the racecourse. It is Wrexham 2, Sheffield United 2. Dolby out to the right-hand side into the Sheffield United penalty area. Cuts back into the middle. Mullin to strike. Mullin to score. What a cup tie we have seen tonight. The 10-man Blades are heading out. 4 minutes to go. Wrexham 3, Sheffield United 2. Here comes Sheffield United's corner from the right. Doyle into the area. It's going to be in by John Egan. John Egan at the back post. But he has broken Welsh hearts here in North Wales. Deep into added time. What an incredible game. The 10-man Blades could be in the hat for the next round. 2 minutes of added time to go. It is Wrexham 3, Sheffield United 3.
Well, it was a tight squeeze, to say the least. John Egan getting the goal that mattered, and he was particularly pleased with the way that Sheffield United had rallied, being a man down and managing to force a replay.
Yeah, listen, obviously, you know, we came here to win the game. Took an early lead, and then second half, you know, I think they were getting kind of soft fouls and stuff. And maybe, I don't know, the ref kind of gave them a few soft fouls and they started chucking balls in the box. We didn't deal with them. You know, we found ourselves 2-1 down. Got back into the game, man sent off, 3-2 down with, you know, 10 minutes to go. Showed spirit, came back, got a draw. So, you know, it's FA Cup, like, it's a tough game, and, you know, Wrexham are going very well. So we knew it'd be tough. So yeah, we're still in the hat. Hopefully, you know, at home we can play better and get the win.
You come up with an equalising goal, 95th minute of the game. What does it say about the team this year and the kind of resilience that even won a game like tonight?
Yeah, it shows a lot, you know. Listen, Wrexham, you know, they're playing in the conference, but they're not a conference team. You know, they have a lot of players who are capable of playing up the leagues. And, you know, their crowd were lively from minute one, really, and then they get the goals, and, you know, the crowd, like, giving us stick all game, so it was good to be able to nip in at the back stick last minute and, you know, give them a little bit back. But no, it was a good game. You know, they gave it everything. We gave it everything, and, you know, I suppose we'll, from where we were with 10 minutes to go, we'll take a draw, and, you know, hopefully back at Bramall Lane we can put ourselves into the next round.
Well, it may have been very, very late, but United getting that goal, and so important, and so onwards to a replay. Before that, though, we've got our game against Rotherham today. And let me remind you of the broadcast regulations and match pass information. If you want to watch the match, you're going to be able to watch the whole of it. There it is. Head to sufc.co.uk to find out exactly what's needed, and you can watch the whole of the match here with us on SUTV Live. Well, Chris Morgan, watching with me and seeing those matches. Let's look at the whole game first, and of course you as well, Jack. What's your reaction to that? They managed to get an all-important 3 games. I guess that's the bottom line.
Yeah, it is.
3 points.
Yeah, 3 points. I think at this stage of the season, that's really what it is all about. It's the points. You know, we've built a good gap up. Everybody's all like talking now in terms of, can we keep going? Can we keep the gap from the chasing pack? And it's just picking points up. Yeah, you know, you want good performances. You want, particularly at home, you want to go out and put a show on. But it's about getting the results, and it doesn't matter whether that's a 1-0 win or, you know, a 3-4-0 win at home, a convincing one. Mm-hmm. It's about getting them points on the board and just keeping that gap.
Were there any standout performances for you, Jack, when you looked at the team and the way they played? Who would you highlight and saying, yeah, that's a really good contribution?
Yeah, well, obviously Jebbo got the winning goal. I think that goes without saying. But for me, I think the defence, to keep another clean sheet is obviously massively important as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you're all about. So you admire what they're doing. And John, really important, John Egan.
Yeah, always is every week. For the past 6-7 years, he's been one of the most consistent players at the club, and, you know, he's come up with some late goals as well.
Would you go along with that, Chris? I mean, people have always talked about successful teams, and they talk about the spine of the team. If you've got a good central defensive pairing, then that's absolutely crucial.
Well, you're asking the wrong people here to talk about other positions on the pitch other than centre backs and defences. Yeah, any team that does well is built on a solid defence, because if you know that you can keep clean sheets and you're not going to give chances away, then you can win games 1-0. You know, I think if you're a team that that leak goals and you're weak at the back, you're going to have problems. So I think every good team that you look at is built on a solid base, and that's what Sheffield United have done, for years and years now. And I think John, like Jack says there, at the middle of that back three, people always refer to that middle position as being an easy one. And it is in many ways, because you don't get dragged out into wide areas, into fullback type areas. But a lot of it is organising, reading what your partner on the left's doing, reading what your partner on the right's doing, and actually being, in many ways, like a bit of an insurance man. And I think he does it really well. I think he plays with a lot of football intelligence.
Those who do get dragged out wide, though, they did a pretty good job as well, didn't they? Bogle on the right side and Lowe on the left side, and producing a little bit of added goal threat as well.
Yeah, we spoke about them before. Lowe and Bogues have both come in and done unbelievable well, with obviously the absence of George and Enda, and both of them offer a threat, and they've done fantastic since they've come into the team.
Well, there'll be things to work on in training after that, I'm sure, and they were preparing for the Wrexham game, which turned out to be so tough. I mean, did we really see that coming? Did we think it was going to be as hard as it was?
Yeah, I expected it to be, yeah. And I expect it'll be the same today again. Long balls into the box, set pieces, and that's what you come up against as a cup final for Wrexham at the end of the day.
Paul Heckingbottom made 5 changes for that FA Cup tie, but he still put a decent team out, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, we've already touched on it. We've got a real strong squad, and he's going to have to change that team, and he's going to have to change, not necessarily change the squad, but he'll have to change the team from game to game. And that Wrexham game away from home, I watched their playoff semi-final against Grimsby at the end of last season, and that game was very similar. Loads of goals from set plays. And every time the ball went in the box, you're expecting danger from both teams, because both teams were good at set plays. I think the difference between the replay here midweek and the game at Wrexham was, you looked at the pitch, without being rude to Wrexham, suited them. They like sort of bogged Sheffield United down a little bit. But if you look at the Wrexham squad on paper, it's arguably a League One squad. Yeah. They've got good players in there. So I think it'll be a different game here on this pitch in front of our crowd. I think Wrexham, they can cause a surprise, but I don't expect anything other than a Sheffield United win in the replay.
Lovely to see Ollie McBurney, after his injury problems, coming through and doing what he did, and that early goal was a cracker. Yeah, again, obviously I've worked closely with Ol in the gym and during his rehab, and he's been another one who's been unbelievable to come back and score straight away. Credit to him, and hopefully he can continue as well. Yeah, and he'll be a key man this afternoon as well, I would imagine. Definitely, yeah, especially defending set pieces as well in the box. He's really good at that, so I think we'll need him today, definitely. Well, as we head towards this match this afternoon, we're only just over 35 minutes away from kickoff now, so be sure to stay with us and watch that game. But the championship table, it makes rather good reading. Let's take a look at where Sheffield United are. That points tally there doesn't include West Brom's victory over Coventry last night, a win which put them up to 5th place, but that 12-point little cushion there, that's good, isn't it, Jack? Yeah, I think, just keep looking forward. No need to look behind us, concentrate on ourselves and try and catch Burnley. That'll be what I'd be saying. Are you being told around the club, yeah, you're doing okay, but don't look at that table, let's just think about the next game? That's what it is in football, especially, we've been promoted before. It's just taken game by game. I know it sounds cliche, but it literally is. We've got a tough game against Rotherham today, so just get the 3 points and move on to the next one. Recent form's been brilliant, though, hasn't it? If we've talked about 1 defeat since the middle of October. That's a fantastic run. And Sheffield United's recent results, what is it now? 1-7, drawn 1 of the last 8. They're just in the groove, and that's what happens. When you're playing and you're winning games, it's like when you're losing games. It's really hard to get out of the habit, and they've got the right habit. They're just winning games. They're playing well. The football's fluid. I think we're talking about how well people are playing, but I think the work ethic. I think that's the main thing. The focus and the work ethic that the lads show, sort of game in, game out. I think that's the secret.
Yeah, they're good players, we know that. You know, a lot of them players played in the Premier League, but it's that work ethic and the concentration to keep doing what you're asked to do. And that's why we've got that 12-point gap.
Absolutely, and that's going to bring you late goals as well. Playing the full 90 minutes, bring you late goals like that one which John Egan scored in the FA Cup tie, and he is our Player of the Month for January. And we caught up with John, and he was not only delighted with the results, but also pretty happy to have got this particular accolade.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. You know, it's been a good January in the main. We've had some good results, and that's obviously the main thing. But no, it's nice to win this.
Undefeated, 3 wins in there, and the ones that we didn't win, you managed to salvage the unbeaten run. So, talk about those 2 games.
Yeah, away to QPR, obviously tough game. We made it hard for ourselves. I kind of made a mistake early on and was lucky to redeem myself in the end. You know, we won a lot of games, and then we're 3-2 down to Wrexham when I managed to get another equaliser. So maybe them 2 goals have a part to play in this. But yeah, good to keep the unbeaten run going and keep some momentum.
What about performances on the whole though for the Blades? We looked solid defensively, and obviously, like you said, unbeaten and hoping to carry that forward now.
Yeah, I think we played well in the main. You know, without really kind of reaching our peak yet. I think we're still improving, we're still trying to work on things and get better. You know, we want to be solid defensively, but we want to put teams away a bit more when we dominate games too. But every game is tough, so you're going to have to scrap for points, and I think we've shown our resilience all season really, and even digging out wins where we're not playing so well.
And hopefully a couple more goals for you.
Hopefully, yeah. It was kind of on a big drought before the Wigan game for Sheffield, but yeah, hopefully you can keep picking up the odd couple of goals.
Well done, Egan.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
Egan. And we're not just making this a We Love John Egan sort of preview, but he's had crucial goals, he's had assists, he's been a key part of that defence, as Chris has already highlighted, but it's nice to see him getting that accolade.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's always nice to get things like that. And he just spoke really well then. Obviously he took the personal accolade, but he spoke about obviously his teammates and the people around him. So, no, he's a real important sort of, if you want, a cog in that wheel.
The stats look good. I mean, he's an important bloke from a leadership perspective, but he's sort of showing it by example.
Yeah, like we spoke about, he's been one of the most consistent performers since he's come at the club, and I've played alongside him. It was a pleasure to play alongside him. It made my job a lot easier, and he's getting the rewards now that he deserves.
He's kind of suggesting there that there's better still to come. I mean, I'm sure I'd be speaking for a lot of United fans when I say, okay, promotion, we're 12 points clear, all the rest of it, and it's looking great from that perspective. But wouldn't it be lovely as well to see them go up as champions?
Yeah, of course, that would be the icing on the cake, but I think the main thing is for us to get promoted, and like Egan said, I think that there is still things we can work on and improve, and that's what you do as a footballer. You want to get better every day, and fair play to Egan for saying that. It's
a good mindset, isn't it, to be looking to improve all the time and thinking that there's more still to come.
I think it just shows the belief within the squad. I think again we spoke about the gap from second to third and fourth, but the gap from second to first is not massive, and them lads will want to go up as champions. Like Jack Riley says, to get promoted, don't matter whether you're champions or second, but to go up as champions, I think that's what they'd want.
Yeah, a bit of silverware. I mean, I've supported the Sheffield United for more years than I care to admit, and to get a bit more silverware would certainly be a good thing for the club and give a real good feel factor for the fans who are just so much a part of Sheffield United.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the teams, the top 2 teams, Burnley and Sheffield United, they are the best 2 teams for me. I've seen a lot of the Championship, a lot of games, and the 2 teams that are top of the league are the best teams in the league for me.
Well, let's take a look at the matches which are coming up, and we've got 3 here at Bramall Lane, starting on Tuesday with the 7:45 kickoff. No show here for this one because of broadcast regulations, broadcast rights. That's the home match against Wrexham in the FA Cup, and then Swansea on Saturday the 11th of February, 3 o'clock kickoff. We are on air from 2, and moving on to Wednesday the 15th, Middlesbrough again here at Bramall Lane. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so our preview programme will begin at 7 p.m. Well, it's almost time for you to disappear and leave us for now, Chris, because you're going to be involved in the commentary of this match coming up. But before we usher you on your way, what do you reckon?
2-0 away win.
Care to amplify that, or are you just giving me the one-liner?
Another clean sheet. I think we'll create lots of chances. Rotherham have been doing well. I think we do have to be really careful of them. The last, obviously, home game, they beat Blackburn 4-0, which was a real good result for them at home. They are strong at home. I think they will create us problems, but I just think we'll have too much for them.
Enjoy the commentary. And
Thanks,
we'll look forward to seeing the match, in just under half an hour's time now. Well, Chris heading off to commentary, and we move on now to the Sander Berger FOTMOB Stats Quiz. Sander spent some time quizzing his teammates at Shirecliffe to see just how well they knew their player stats from this season.
Hi, Sander Berger. This is the FOTMOB Stats Quiz. So Illy, who do you think has the most successful dribbles per 90 minutes? And I can give you a clue, it's not you, and that's strange.
It's not me?
No.
Oh. I'm saying you.
Nah, it's Mecca.
Wow. Surprised there.
Mecca, David Silva. Mecca, who do you reckon has the most possession won in the final third per 90 minutes?
Of what? Of our team?
Yeah.
Of our team?
Yeah, in our team,
yeah. Element. Yeah.
Really sharp.
Wow.
And who got the most blocks per 90 minutes in our team?
Egan.
That's right. The first one today. Are you happy?
Give me the one.
Okay.
I want to go on mine.
Who has the most highest expected goals per 90 minutes?
He shoots a lot. Is it someone I expect?
Maybe not.
Ali.
Oh,
no. Why? I didn't know. No. Ream Brewster.
This is the most mental one. Who has the fourth most expected assists per 90 minutes?
What, in the league?
No, in our team.
Fourth? Most mental, so it's a mad answer. Where's?
No, it's Tommy Doyle.
Tommy Doyle?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that mental, obviously. Fourth most expected assist.
Expected assist? Because he whips it in from anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Big chances created. Stand there.
Everyone else is. Any chance of putting the ball in the net?
You said to him that he does free kicks, corner kicks and everything, right? Regarding expected assists. When you have 80 free kicks a game to put in. Hei, dette Sander Berge, og dette FOTMOB sin quiz.
Thank you, Sander. Who'd have thought that Tommy Doyle was fourth on the expected assists? Well, I talked about a guest who's going to be joining us here in the run-up to the match, and here he is, George Baldock. George Baldock, good to see you here, and welcome to SUTV Live.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
First of all, I'm disappointed to see that you're not in the squad. How are you actually going?
Yeah, good. Obviously disappointed to get injured. Played a lot of games this season, and even this calendar year with internationals and things like that, and just unfortunate to pick up a hamstring injury. But yeah, on the mend and can't wait to get back.
It all looks great at the moment. I mean, we've looked at the table, we've looked at recent performances, the fantastic run of performances and results. If you could sort of magic yourself back to the beginning of the season and to expectations, how much could you have anticipated that it had gone so well?
I think we always had belief in ourselves. I think speaking to everyone, we all had a common goal in promotion this season. Heartbreak last year really motivated us this year, and obviously got off to a bit of a poor start. We weren't quite at it in the opening game of the season, but since then we've gone from strength to strength. And credit to the manager and the staff, they've stayed level-headed and really had that consistency about our performances.
You talk about that heartbreak of last season. I mean, I'm unlucky enough to live in an area of the country where there's an enormous number of Nottingham Forest fans. So I've been saying, for goodness sake, don't get yourself relegated, because we want you there when we go up next season, because it's going to be a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, it will be, but I think rivalries aside and things like that, credit to them. They had a poor start last season and rallied through and got to the end and got promoted. But it's all about us now. That's behind us now, and I think if you speak to any of the lads, they'll all say the same. And like I said, it's just added to the motivation to get there. And yeah, if we do meet them next year, it'll be a great occasion.
As ever at this time of year, there's been a bit of transfer speculation kicking around, hasn't there? And there's talks about Sander and about Illiman going, and eventually neither of them going. And I mean, from my perspective, from a fan's perspective, big sigh of relief there.
Yeah, definitely. They're both top players, both important to our team, and to keep hold of them is a massive bonus. And hopefully they can kick on and get us promoted and get us over the line.
Let's take another look at the team as we run up to the match here against Rotherham with this 12:30 kickoff. Sheffield United, 2 changes there, George, from the match, from the team who faced Hull City. We've got Ollie McBurney coming in, and also Ben Osborne.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows, doesn't it, the strength in the squad, and the squad that the club and the manager have been able to assemble this year. I mean, players come in and not really weakening the side. I mean, Ozzy will give us great energy in midfield, and obviously everyone knows the threat Ollie McBurney's been posing this year. And Jack touched on it earlier. The quality he has from defending set plays will also be vital.
What's the difference with Ollie this year from last year? Because at one point it looked as though he couldn't buy a goal, and now he's looking as though he's going to score every match he's in the team. It looks as though he's mentally, just looks from the outside anyway to be a different guy. Yeah,
well, I think the man sitting next to me's got a lot to think about that. I saw Ollie in pre-season working his socks off with Jack. I'm seeing it now. Jack's got this ability to drag you through sessions, and Ollie's benefited from that. He's come back fitter, stronger. Like I said, I think he's been a little bit unlucky, Ollie, even in previous seasons where like you said, he's not looked like he was going to score, but he's such a team player and he gives everything for the team. And when the goals do start to dry up, I'm sure he'll still be contributing in other ways.
Is that right? You've been dragging him through those gym sessions?
Yeah, that's what seems to be my job at the minute, a fitness coach at the club. But no, fair play to Ollie. He worked hard in pre-season, and he's getting the rewards now with his goals.
And just a reminder of the lineup, how they're going, the formation that they're going to, we reckon, adopt today, and it's going to be the tried and tested.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think the lads know exactly what they're doing. Everyone knows their roles and their responsibilities, and we look really comfortable in that shape. And fair play to Hecky. The moment he came back in, he reverted back to that shape. And like I said, I think it's worked well for us in the past, and this season's been good as well.
What about you guys in the squad? Part all in the squad with the promotion line coming. I mean, how relieved were you guys to see that Sander and Illiman are definitely going to be here for the rest of the season?
Yeah, of course, massively. They're such important players, probably 2 of the best players in the league. I've spoken before about Sander, but everyone can see his quality, and Illiman for me is arguably the best player I've ever played with. So
really,
yeah,
as good as that.
He's incredible. Both of them have got such a high ceiling in the game for me. Obviously spoke about Sander, so a few words on Illiman. His work ethic's the thing that impresses me the most. He's got so much technical ability, and everyone sees the goals, the assists, but what you can't see is his work ethic and his honesty during the week. And I hope he continues that.
And people have talked about Illiman's physical strength as well. Tough guy.
Yeah, no, to be fair to him, last season he was coming off with cramp a lot, but he's really worked hard, and you can see he's got a lot stronger. People aren't nudging him off the ball, so fair play to Illy. And like we spoke about Illy before, he's definitely going right to the top.
Now, you guys were both in the squad last time we played Rotherham on their turf, and Jack, you've actually had 1 or 2 games for Rotherham in the past. This is their recent form over the last 5. 9 points from their last 10 games, but they've performed better at home than away. I mean, what sort of a place is it to actually play football?
It's a tough place to go. You know, obviously I had a loan spell at Rotherham. The fans get behind them, and it's going to be a test. They're going to put balls into the box. They're going to jump on second balls, and they're really going to test you and running behind. So I think for us, we need to match the physical battle and then take over with our football.
I think we've got a look at the Rotherham team, Rotherham form. They've just taken those 9 points from the last 10 games, but this is the team that we're anticipating tonight, this afternoon rather. What's your thoughts on that one, George?
They've got some dangerous players, and you know, speaking to the analysis guys before, you know, they reverted back to 4-3-3, and have got some decent results, notably obviously Blackburn and Watford. So they'll pose a threat for sure. We know, you know, like Jack touched on it earlier, that the amount of balls that will go into our box, long balls. But I think we're well equipped to deal with it, with the 3 centre halves, all very mobile, and wing backs as well helping out. I think you know, on our day we should be able to get a result.
They lost Don Barlaser, who joined Middlesbrough last month, but Connor Coventry in there. He's on loan from West Ham. Important new addition for them. Yeah,
good range of passing, technically a very good player. But, you know, we've got a few of them as well in our midfield, so you know, it'll be a key battle. And yeah, let's just hope that our boys continue performing the way they have.
Take a look at some of the ones maybe to watch involved here. And of those, Jordan Hugill, striker, had that big money move to West Ham that didn't work out. He scored 51 championship goals, and he'll be looking for a little bit of a run of games. And Oliver Rathbone, real all-action chasing and running from midfield. And a decent goalkeeper there as well in Victor Johansson.
Yeah, I played with Ollie Rathbone at Rochdale when he was a young kid. He had a lot of potential, and he's got legs in midfield, so he'll obviously get about the pitch. And the big lad up front, Hugo, he will cause problems, especially off set pieces.
Okay, well, time now to move on to a little SUTV live exclusive in which midfielder Ismaila Coulibaly talking to Matt Young about how much he enjoyed his first experience of playing for the Blades.
Yeah, it was really, really nice, especially after a tough moment, because it's always difficult when you come to a new country, new team, and straight after the preseason you get injured and bad injury. And I really, really enjoyed it again to be playing. And it was difficult to see the lads playing, winning every time, and you are not involved. And when I get back to the pitch, I was very, very happy, especially my family was happy too, and it was a great moment for me to be back.
What was it like playing in that atmosphere at Wrexham? It was quite lively, wasn't it, down there?
Yeah, it was like typical English football, and I was expecting for that before, because since I signed for Sheffield, down there in Bearscough, people was talking about English football. I always watch Premier League, but never Championship football. Is like always fighting games, and this game was a crazy game, and it was typical English football. And the atmosphere was very, very good. I really, really like it. From the bench, I was enjoying the game.
You've had to be very patient for your opportunity. You did 2 years at Beershot before you came to Sheffield United to compete for a place here. So how much did that help your development playing in Belgium?
Yeah, that was the plan since the day I signed for Sheffield, because for the work permit stuff and papers reason, and I was already thinking about what next, what is my next step. It was always to be here, compete for a place, and be playing Premier League, and that was my goals before. And I really, really had a good experience in Bearscough, because when I came there from Norway, and I had like a good relationship with everybody, the head coach, the teammates. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed, especially with the fans. It was a good time, and things didn't go like what I was expecting for, because I had injury as well. I didn't play last year and the team get relegated, and that was bad, but I really enjoy it as well. It was a good moment for me, and I learned a lot in Bescott, yeah.
You had a great pre-season, but then you had the setback of the injury. So how have you dealt with that, and how are you feeling now going into kind of the final stretch of the season?
It's like, it's what I said in the beginning. It was like the hardest period of my life, you know. And I live by my own in new country, and I was very happy in the pre-season. And I was, the coach was helping me, the teammate, you know, to get, like, how to say it, to have the feeling to be at home, you know. And that was really good at the end of the pre-season, and I was really feeling well. And unlucky I got that knee injury, and it was a bad thing. And I was out for 5 months, and now I'm looking to be having like minute and to be playing like every weekend like other players, yeah.
And just finally, you've experienced the FA Cup, and now the experience potentially the South Yorkshire derby against Rotherham. What do you think you can expect from that one?
Yeah, I was on the bench the last 2 league games, and I didn't get minute. And like the coach say, my next step is to have some minute. Now we are thinking about minute. I will really, I would like to have some time, even start maybe against Rotherham, because I think my last game in pre-season was against them, and I scored a goal against them. And I just want to be playing to have time.
Plenty of ambition there, isn't there? Ismaila Coulibaly, who is going to be on the bench again this afternoon. But I tell you what, before that interview began, he was just a little bit worried. He said, "I've not got very good English. I'm not sure I can speak very well. I'm going to have to take this slowly." Tell you what, George, he's a good speaker, isn't he?
Yeah, great speaker, great guy. He's settled in really well. Everyone's taken to him. And he's a really hard worker, and you know, obviously we were so disappointed with him getting injured, mostly for him. You know, obviously like he explained there, it must be difficult coming, not knowing many people, and then dealing with a big injury like that. So I'm delighted he's back and he's been training well. And like he said, the next step is minutes, and why can't he? Yeah,
another one who you'll have seen working hard in the gym, trying to get that injury setback behind him and kick on with his career.
Yeah, obviously I spent a lot of time with Izzy. I felt a bit sorry for him. He went for a big surgery, and he had no family. He was on his own, so but he still turned up to work with a smile on his face and worked hard every day. And you know, I'm so happy for him to be out there, and hopefully, like George said, he can get some minutes now.
And I hear he's a big pal of Iliman Ndiaye, isn't he?
Yeah, 2 French-speaking players. I think that's good for both of them sometimes, just to have a few conversations and you know, voice their opinions to each other that we can't hear. But yeah, they got on really well. But you know, the squad's so tight knit, and yeah, everyone's delighted for Izzy.
Well, let's turn our attention firmly to what's coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Sheffield United against Rotherham, and press conference time. And earlier this week, it was Ben Osborne's turn to review the power of Rotherham United and what Sheffield had to face.
I think they made some good signings. Obviously, they gave us a tough game when they beat us at home. We weren't completely firing that day, and they made it really tough. And I think they've picked up a couple of decent results recently by playing fairly direct or long balls, but have runners off the ball. So it's going to be again a battle. You know, we need to sort of try and win that battle and then play our game. Yeah, that's what we've been working on really.
Yeah, they're a good team at trying to win it high up the pitch, aren't they? There's a facet of what they want to do.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as they lose it, they'll look to try and win it back. So you know, it's up to us to have composure and try and play through that. But yeah, there's no doubt about it, it's going to be a tough game.
The fact that it's you or Burnley, if you like, competing week in, week out, and needing and having that thought in the back of the mind about needing to win because the other side probably will, it makes for a tremendous title race.
Well, yeah, but you know, we've still got teams chasing us behind, and we know we've got some tough games coming up. But Yeah, I mean, having an early kick-off's always good, so try and get the points on the board and then watch the rest of the football. That's, you know, we've got potential to do that this weekend.
Well, it's a complete sellout, Rotherham against Sheffield United, but fear not, because you can watch the whole game right here, and our broadcasting regulations are available if you go to sufc.co.uk, and also how you go about getting that match pass to watch all the action as it comes. Kick-off at 12:30, so we're less than 10 minutes away. Well, also, we heard there from Ben Osborne, also time to hear the press conference from the manager, Paul Heckingbottom, and this is what he makes of the Millers.
It's going to be a tough game. Watching them recently, I think they've, certainly when they've gone to back four and like midfield five, if you like, and signed a couple of wingers to give them the option of that shape. They've been very, very direct, and this is not a criticism, very, very direct, really aggressive on second balls, put lots of balls in behind opponents and in the opposition's box, and not deviated away from that, certainly in the last two games, and they've won 1-4-0 and they've got a good away point at Watford, so and we're expecting that type of approach.
Is there a sense of revenge or what might have been from the match at Bramall Lane when they came away with victory?
No, we want to win anyway, regardless. We want to win the game. It's a derby, be a good atmosphere. We'll take our away following and get behind the goal at that end. It's one of their biggest games of the season. We know that, you know. But when Warney was in there, we played in pre-season, and he knew the date of it straight away, you know. And so I get the fixture. It's a good one, real good one. It's going to be a good one to be involved in. The last game's got no bearing on this one, and certainly not the outcome we want. We want to go there and try and get 3 points.
Atmosphere is building up. We're not too far away from match action. You can see the ground there is filling up, and this is a naked sales pitch. Look at sufc.co.uk for the broadcast regulations, but more importantly, from your perspective, the match pass information. All the details are available there about how to sign up and how to watch this match. Kick-off at 12:30. Be sure not to miss it. Well, we've got Jack and George here. You heard from Paul. There'll be a few nerves there in the dressing room. Big moment coming closer. How confident are you all going to be?
I'm always confident in the boys. You know, we work so hard, we set up well every week. Never get too high, never get too low, so that consistency doesn't make me too nervous, although I'm not a very good watcher. But yeah.
You've got to this time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think a 2-0 victory.
Well, that's what Chris said as well. He's gone for the 2-0. What about you, Jack?
I'm going to go 1-0. 1-0 for Sheffield United to win. I think all about mentality. I think if we get past the first 20 minutes, match their energy, I think our football will take over.
Got a good bench as well. There's good people to come on. If it doesn't click, there's some good players who could potentially come on in the second half.
Yeah, real game changers on there. You know, obviously, look no further than the skipper there.
Billy.
Yeah, of course. You got Macca, loads of lads who can come on and change the game, and also lads that can come on and see it out as well.
Important to get a good start, settle straight in.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna come at us the first 15-20 minutes. They're gonna have the crowd behind them. I think it's down to us to take the sting out the game and then let our football take over.
You see there, a good crowd already assembling. There's not going to be a spare seat in the stadium. You both have experience. You both know about what it's like to play there. How difficult is it to actually play at Rotherham? How much does their crowd help?
Yeah, of course. You know, from being up these parts, we see it here every week. The crowd will be very passionate, get behind their local team, as football should be played like that, and it will make it difficult. But you know, we've played at bigger, intimidating places like this as well before, and come out on the right side of things. So that'll be the boys' aim today.
And as ever, there'll be the big Sheffield United travelling contingent who'll be making themselves heard and trying their very, very hardest to make it seem like a home match for the Blades.
Yeah, we're going to need them definitely for sure today. But like George said, we've played in these occasions before. I think we've got loads of experience playing in these type of games, and you know, I think the lads will be okay.
Well, they're going to have to be up for it and wanting perhaps to get revenge as well, because that one must have hurt, the home defeat against Rotherham.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, you know, there are certain games in seasons that can define you, and you know, Jack will remember it as well. I remember being 3-0 up against Aston Villa, drawing 3-3, and then we went on a run from there. And the boys have used that experience from the disappointing defeat here, and like you said before earlier on the show, we've gone from strength to strength since then. So sometimes, you know, you know, fans won't like hearing this, but sometimes it can be a good thing just to have a reset and yeah, go back over things that you know you're good at.
But not a reset this afternoon, eh?
No, definitely not. No, absolutely not. We know it's going to be a very difficult game, of course. We just both have real belief in the boys, so let's just hope we can get through.
Yeah, let's hope so. Jack, final word for you?
Yeah, I mean, the lads, you know, they're prepared well now, so it's time to go out and do the business and get the 3 points.
It is time indeed to go out and do the business. Be sure to sign up and get yourself a match pass on sutvlive.co.uk. Get yourself set. Watch all the action with us. It's high time now we head over to our commentators, who this afternoon are Chris Morgan, and the first voice you'll hear, a very good afternoon to Matt Young.
Thank you, John. The focus is back on the Championship, and it's a South Yorkshire derby which lies in wait as United make the short hop to Rotherham. Paul Heckingbottom's side are seeking to avenge their defeat to the Millers at Bramall Lane back in November. That's a defeat which prompted an unbeaten run of 10 games in all competitions. With the transfer window slamming shut on Tuesday and the Blades squad intact, all the tension now back on the field as United look to further strengthen their position within the Championship's top two. Chris Morgan joins me for this game, and with the transfer window closing now, Chris, all focus back on the action again.
Yeah, I think the best bit of business in the transfer window that Sheffield United did was keeping older players. Often you talk about a transfer window being important for players coming in, but obviously because of the situation, it was keeping the players, and Sheffield United fans will have been happy when that window slammed shut, and yeah, focus back on league games.
One defeat in 15 in all competitions. It's an impressive run. This is going to be tough though, isn't it? You've played in these type of fixtures before. What are they like?
Yeah, they are tough games because of the position that we're in the league. You know, the supporters think that we're going down to, you know, these are not my words, but we're going down to little old Rotherham, and you know, it's another 3 points, but it'll not be that at all. You know, it's a South Yorkshire derby. Rotherham will be well up for this. They had a real good result last time out home to Blackburn Rovers, 4-0. So it will be a tough game. I expect us to win, and I do think we'll win, but I think it will be tough.
And added to the fact that it's a derby, Rotherham do appear to have turned the corner a little bit since they won here at Bramall Lane, but a really poor run. But the last two results, 4-0 over Blackburn, 1-1 draw against Watford. Looks like they've steered the ship once again.
Yeah, and I think you look at them two results, and they're against teams that are at the top of the league as well. You know, so probably a little bit of a worry maybe for Matty Taylor is in terms of, you know, my players can turn it on against the good teams, but can we get them types of performances against the teams that are around them? Because let's face it, it's not the results that they're getting against Blackburn and Watford and Sheffield United. It'll be the teams that are in and around them.
And what about Sheffield United then? 3-5-2 as always, with a slight change in personnel. Ben Osborne coming into the midfield this afternoon, and a welcome return as well for Ollie McBurney up front. Yeah,
it's always nice to get Ollie back up the top, leading the line. You know, for me, a proper number 9. Obviously, through his time at Sheffield United, he's had little bits of spells out injured and things like that. But whenever he's in the team, you know, I think we look strong. I like his presence up there, and you know, his presence then lets people like Illerman drop into them little areas where he likes to get on the ball.
And a mini rest with Sanderberg, wasn't involved against Wrexham, but back involved this afternoon. Yeah, and again, we spoke about it before in terms of Eki balancing the team, you know, people coming in, coming out. There's going to be a lot of games, and he'll use the squad, and possibly looked at the pitch last week at Wrexham and thought, you know what, is it really going to benefit Sander playing there? So bring him out and keep him for the league games. It's a South Yorkshire derby, and it's a Premier League referee. Graham Scott is the official. Sheffield United going to their pre-match huddle, as you can see, in all black, their third strip. John Egan wears the captain's armband this afternoon. Packed house here at the ASCL New York Stadium. And Rotherham United supporters hoping for a league double over their closest rivals. Blades will kick off, looking to extend this terrific run in the Championship and extend their run to what will be an incredible gap, potentially come 10-5 this afternoon. Long way to go before then, of course. And we're underway. Ollie Norwood sending one into the Rotherham United half. If you've not got your match pass, look to sufc.co.uk for all the broadcasting regulations. Remember, this game is available in the UK this afternoon. An early throw for